Welcome to Keep It Pro Training Call, brought to you by Networking Wisdom, featuring Ramasio Fulcher. Thank you all for joining us today. My name is Monique, and I'm your host for today. Ramasio is the creator of Networking Wisdom, and the reason for this call each and every Sunday for over 3.5 years at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. On this call, you will learn the skills to be successful in network marketing and in life. Ramasio Fulcher is a well-respected international leader, trainer, coach, and much sought-after mentor. He is a highly successful entrepreneur with 750,000 people globally in his network and has accomplished over $1 billion in sales. Please get ready to listen and be empowered. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in for a very special treat. I have the pleasure of introducing to you a top leader and a top earner. He's a top 50 worldwide earner in MLM. At the tender age of just 25 years young, Ramasio earned his first $1 million. He's now a multimillionaire and has helped countless individuals. This man knows how to make money, and he knows how to make money fast. What we all love about him most is his love for God and for mankind. He enjoys having fun and sharing wisdom. A millionaire mentor, leader of leaders, and coach of coaches. Without further ado, I have the pleasure of introducing to some and presenting to others our mentor and friend, the marketplace minister, the California kid, Mr. Ramasio Fulcher. Ramasio, are you with us?
Absolutely. Can you hear me?
We can hear you speak a little bit louder, but we hear you.
All right. Can you hear me now? Is that much better?
Yes.
All righty. Thank you so much, Monique, for stepping up and being our gracious host yet again. I'm excited for everybody that's here. We're coming right back with another edition of the series that we started almost 3 weeks ago entitled I Am a Master Builder. For those of you that are joining us for the very first time, as she mentioned, we do this call every single Sunday for now the last 3.5 years. It's absolutely a life-changing platform that's free, but I can tell you it really, really helps anybody that has an entrepreneurial desire to actually either be involved in direct sales, network marketing, or not. And there's 2 specific things on this call every single Sunday that we key in on. Number 1, we teach you the specific skills for you to get to the top of whatever company that you're promoting. That's right. You're going to hear from not only myself, but other professionals that will come on and teach you specifically what skills and how to improve your skills so that you can get to the very top of whatever company that you're promoting. But the second thing that we teach you is we also teach you life skills as well. One of the things that you're going to notice on your journey of being an entrepreneur is that as you grow, so will your business grow. In other words, as you grow, everything around you will grow. So you are the catalyst. You are the beginning and the end to everything that you want. So I want to, again, just let you know, guys, we're excited to have you here. This week is the 3rd edition, okay? This is part 3 of a series we started just 3 weeks ago called I Am a Master Builder. And this week I'm really excited to actually bring on a special guest today, someone that truly is a master builder. And he's going to share his perspective, tips, techniques, details about being a master builder. But before I bring him on, I want to let you know, guys, this is a great friend of mine, someone I have a tremendous amount of admiration and respect for. The gentleman has been a former top elite professional bodybuilder for over 25 plus years. I can tell you this is a guy that if you dare to search him out on Google, you will be inundated with hundreds of pictures about, again, over the years as he's mastered his craft. One of the, I believe he was a former runner-up to the Mr. Olympia. For those of you that know anything about physical fitness, that is the Mecca. That's the Mecca trophy or award in the bodybuilding arena. And so he has tremendous amounts of knowledge about building the body, building the nutrition, augmenting the body, just a wealth of knowledge. And I can't wait to get into that. But let me share with you what I'm also really excited about. not only was he an elite professional bodybuilder, one of the best in the world. They call him the X-Man. That's right, girl, the X-Man. But not only was he the best at that, but one of the things that really, really took my respect for this gentleman to an even higher height was when he transitioned into the network marketing arena with absolutely no sales experience, no experience at all. Just good old-fashioned determination, grit, drive, hunger to want to actually be the best once again. And he does it again. And he shoots to the top in record time to our profession, eclipsing over $100,000+ of personal income on a monthly basis. I didn't stutter. I didn't make a mistake. He transitioned from being a bodybuilder into network marketing, and he's going to share with you those details today about how is it that you go from one thing to the next and you continue to remind us you are a master builder. And so I'm really excited to see the transition from one profession to another, and yet again he's still a top performer. But that's not all. He's also a phenomenal, and I mean an absolute phenomenal human being. He's married. He has 3 children, wonderful father. And I can tell you, he's just got a heart of gold, loves to help people. A lot of fun to be around, and just my type of guy. And so, guys, I'm excited to bring onto the call with us for the next 45 minutes to an hour, none other than the one and only Mr. Tony Freeman. Tony, are you there with us today?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, man. We're so glad to have you on this platform.
If I wasn't so dark-skinned, I'd be blushing over here, brother. I appreciate that. Man,
well, Tony, man, go ahead.
I just want to say thank you for having me. You know, you're one of my heroes in this game and in life as well. So, you know, you being my mentor for the last 3 years, it's just been a blessing. And it just opened up my eyes to, you know, to how to really do this and try to share with other people how to be successful in life and in network marketing.
Nah, man. Well, you know, man, I got nothing but love for you, man. You're my type of guy, you know. So listen, man, tell us, you know, as we give us a little bit of background, first of all, just about yourself, and then we'll dive into whatever tips and so forth that you want to share on being a master builder.
Cool. I was born in South Bend, Indiana. I'm the oldest of 4. Got 2 brothers and a sister. My mother and father, they had me when they were very young, you know, teenagers, mid-teenagers. And so I got to really grow up and watch my parents. My father's a minister. My mother's a school teacher. But before my father converted to the ministry, he was a singer in a band called the Devil's Workshop, kind of like 180 degrees from what he is now. And I watched him transform from, you know, drinking like a fish, cursing like a sailor, smoking like a chimney, to this child of God. And I never forgot that. And I basically watched this man over the years become a pillar of what it's supposed to be like to really be a child of God. So that right there instilled in me. And even though I kind of left the church and went into the world and, you know, pursued bodybuilding, which at the time I thought was my calling, I actually took to bodybuilding like a fish to water, and I was inspired by Arnold Schwarzenegger. And so I basically, because he was 6'2", I got the inspiration and I got the idea that I could be maybe something special in the sport of bodybuilding. Not a competitor, but just have a great physique. And that is how I started, you know, my journey to master that.
Well, man, tell us with that said, tell us a little bit about that. I mean, obviously, you know, so we're talking about being a master. Take us back to you shared your inspiration of becoming a bodybuilder, but obviously, how many years was it, Tony? 20 years, 25, 30? How many years were you in that game?
Well, I started in 1988. I was 21 years old, and I was a skinny kid, about 162 pounds at 6'2". And what really happened is my then fiance, we were in a long-distance relationship. She told me she met this guy named Tony and that he reminded her of me. And I didn't, you know, I'm not a jealous guy. I didn't really think nothing of it. one day I was visiting her, and I saw these 8x10 photographs of this tremendous-looking bodybuilder that wasn't Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I was like, wow, this is a regular dude. I was like, baby, who is this? And she was like, that's the guy, Tony, I told you about. And something clicked in my head, when she said that he reminded her of me, other than our names were Tony. I just didn't see, how. But once I got to meet him, I learned that he was a soft-spoken, kind individual, so maybe that's what it was. But anyway, I wanted to look like that, and I kind of hounded him, and I bought every book I can find. We didn't have the internet back then, so they actually had books about it. So I actually bought every book, and I studied very diligently on how to perform the exercises, what was required, the nutrition, the posing, the presentation, all those things I studied, and I soaked it up like a sponge. And I slowly but surely began to visualize and realize what my potential could possibly be. And like I said, being a skinny kid, having big muscles was not, something that I really envisioned, but I saw that someone else could do it. That inspired me. And so I wanted to take action. And like I said, I bought every book, and I found a mentor, that guy Tony, and several other people. And I learned from other people's success and failures. And, that led me down the journey of starting to slowly but surely, kind of like GPS, kind of putting everything together. Small goals. I wanted to get to 200 pounds. That was my original goal. I got to 200 pounds, then 210, then 215, then 230. And I just was relentless with it. And like I say, I studied it. I lived and breathed it. When I closed my eyes at night, I would see, the results of my hard work. And then when I look in the mirror, I would see those same results. And people used to always ask me, especially later on in my career, how do you keep doing this? Why do you keep going? What drives you? What pushes you? And I always say that, no one's born with willpower. No one's born with dedication. Those things come from taking action and getting results. So when you do something for a long time, you're supposed to become good at it. You make enough mistakes to know what not to do. And I think to master anything, you need to learn what not to do first and then proceed from there.
No, that's good. It's good explanation. Well, take us. So you gave us a little bit of insight on the journey. Now let's take us into the details. Take us into the mastery corner, the corner that separated you from many others. Was it just physique, or do you feel that there were other details that could be pertinent towards all of us?
Well, your intent always drives your outcome. I didn't want to be the biggest person in the world or anything like that. I just want to be the best version of myself. So personal development with my physique at the time, and now in this journey, in my mind, in my business strategies, in my technical skills, which now is very important to be successful. I basically, kind of like GPS. I kind of plotted out what I wanted, and I realized that it was going to be a long journey. Right nowadays we got microwaves, remote controls, and autonomous vehicles. We want everything right now, and we want it delivered to us while we sit on the couch. And I realized that this success that I was looking for, because of my stature, because of my height, and because of how skinny I was going to have to do it harder, better, and different than everyone else. I had to separate myself from what was the norm. Most bodybuilders are short and stocky, and they train a certain way. I had to learn how to finesse the weight because I wasn't as strong as some of these other guys with more leverage. So I basically tell people, I bodybuilded on a cellular level with a cerebral, mindset. In other words, I thought everything out. I was very meticulous in what I ate, how I trained. I always tell people, when you go to lift weights, it's not how much you lift, it's how it feels. It's what it looks like. It's not what it looks like, it's what it feels like, rather. And I should tell people all the time how the weight felt in my hands. And, when I put the load on my back, I concentrated and I visualized, and I basically willed my muscles to do what I wanted them to do in that moment. And that's how I got the result.
Wow. You never hear somebody specifically. My brother was a bodybuilder for many years. My brother. And I never heard someone say the explanation that you just gave us. That's a mastery nugget, guys. I mean, here it was, you're saying, yeah, I'm a bodybuilder, but I'm actually using my mind in a cerebral manner to be able to visualize what I want my body to do. And as you would hold the weight, you would gauge yourself on how things felt. Tell us a little bit more about that for those of us that may be into weightlifting or not. But what do you really break that down for us?
I'm going to break it down for you. So, like you see guys with big guns, suns out, guns out. And I used to get the question all the time, how did you build your arms so big? Because I started off with 13.5-inch arms, and they got up to 23 inches. So that's about a 10-inch difference. And I remember when I first
difference. Wow.
I was trying to learn how to make them grow, and I looked in the magazines, and in the magazines they used to show pictures of guys curling, 100-pound dumbbells, 2 plates on the bar. And so I started out trying to duplicate that, and I realized very quickly that all I was doing was wrecking my tendons and wearing out my lower back and probably working muscles that weren't even concerned with growing my arms. And I remember one day I hired a guru, a mentor, to train me one year. Because my thing is being tall. I was never big enough to stand next to the little guys. I know that sounds funny, but when you're standing on stage at that angle, being taller was a quote unquote disadvantage. So I had to kind of create a thicker illusion. So anyway, I hired this guy. His name was Tony Aponte. And I remember we go in and train, and my thing was legs. So I always, I crush legs, crush back, all that type of stuff. But like I say, my arms were one of my weak points. And I remember our first arm workout, he went and grabbed the 15-pound dumbbells. And at the time, I was probably about 295, 300 pounds. And I sat on the bench. And
Wait. You went from 160 to 295 pounds in terms of your personal weight.
The heaviest I ever been was 323. I was about 7% body fat. And
but you started at 160. So you went from 160 to 323 pounds?
Literally doubled.
And we're talking muscle.
Yes, I literally doubled my humanity, basically. I basically put a whole nother me on me, and I'll share how I shed that in a minute. But anyway, he brought these 15-pound dumbbells over to me, and he said, do 20 reps. And I'm thinking, well, 20 reps will be nothing. So I started curling, like normal. And he was like, ho, wait a minute. He said, I want you to hold the dumbbells in your hand with your palms facing up and just make a muscle. That's the rep. I don't want you to raise the dumbbell. I just want you to hold the dumbbell and make a muscle. So I started doing that. And we get to about 10 or 11 reps, and my biceps are on fire. And I was like, whoa. By the time we got through doing 5 sets of 20, I wanted to throw those dumbbells across the gym, but I couldn't really pick them up anymore. But after learning how to actually engage the muscle the proper way, and the analogy that I use to get people to understand this is, what is the function of the bicep? And if I used to get asked that question all the time in my seminars, and I get this blank stare from the audience, but no one really knew. And so, after a bunch of wrong answers, I said, if you didn't have a bicep, how would you eat? So the bicep's job is to bring food to your face. So when you hold your hand down by your side and you bring your hand to your face, you can actually feel your bicep flex. So that's how I teach people how to get that mind-muscle connection so they can actually get the muscle to do what they're trying to get it to do. So that's kind of an example of how you actually fine-tune your mastery to specific things that, you may or may not. Because everybody, especially in the gym, they gravitate to what's easy. If you've got a naturally big chest, it's chest day 3 days a week. If you got, you know what I'm saying? So everybody gravitates to the path of least resistance. I always try to make the exercise harder. That way, I didn't have to continue to increase the weight. So I don't have to continue to increase my burden, you know what I'm saying? So I pay more attention to detail and that way I make the least amount of wasted energy is what happens, and you end up progressing way faster than normal.
Tony, that was a lot that you said, but the point that I think I took away from it was, are you talking about as you were holding the 15-pound dumbbells, you were visualizing yourself like literally lifting them? Because I want to make sure I got a clear picture. You did not lift them at all?
In that
so you just held them?
Yeah, visualizing my huge biceps, but the actual act of getting them to respond was actually imagining bringing food to my face. And as you do that, you can actually feel that bicep contract in the proper way. So, with
the 15-pound dumbbell in your hand?
And then you go to 20 and then 25. But he gave me a weight that he knew that I could flex against without having to use momentum or leverage.
I see. I get it.
So in other words, break off what you can handle first and then grow from there.
Got it. And then how did you translate that simple concept into and you're describing this concept as one of the things that differentiated you from all the other people in that profession?
Well, yes, because like I say, I was so tall. I was the only person at 6'2" in the sport. So I really had no one to emulate. I had no one to really look up to or copy. I had to create my own training philosophy, my own nutritional philosophy, because if you're 5'9", I really can't take advice from you and expect to get your result. You see what I'm saying? So I had to take that wisdom that he gave me, and then I do.
And by the way, I am 5'9", just so you know. So
right.
I get your point. Yeah. So what are some so I got that one. Tell us, before we transition into other things that you've done, that you've mastered, what else would you say? So I'm taking notes. I'm understanding that one of the things that separated you from everyone else was the fact that literally you would actually use your mind, not just your body, as a point of difference, to be able to visualize your body basically doing what it is you wanted it to do. And you would do that. You're giving us the example how you started small and would grow bigger and bigger. But tell us, is there anything else that comes to mind that as you look back over that journey or that time of your life that literally separated you, made you different, made you elite, what you would call this is a wisdom key or a mastery key? Anything else?
My patience. Because I was so tall, I realized that I had a long way to go. You know, I talk to young bucks now. If you talk to young athletes now, you talk to young business entrepreneurs now, you know, they want to they want to be in the Mr. Olympia, you know, already. I met a 16-year-old kid, and his goal was to be Mr. Olympia. And I had to pause him for a second. I'm like, bro, at the time it had only been 13 Mr. Olympias. It started in 1964, and this was like 2012 or 13. I'm like, bro, it's been 13 men to actually accomplish that goal. I said, win Mr. Backyard Barbecue first, then graduate to Mr. City Council, you know what I'm saying? And then the state champion, and then the national champion. You see what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be Formacio and sign up 30,000 people in the first month. You really have to go through some things to get to the point where you can actually even think that you can do stuff like that. I'm never the type of guy to tell someone they can't do anything, but you have to be realistic, and you have to understand that seed, time, harvest, not harvest. Everybody's looking for the harvest. Everybody's like, what's in it for me? What's my cut? What's my percentage? How many people can I sign up? I just flipped it around to how many people can I help get what they want? How much of this knowledge, wisdom, and expertise can I share and give away? God broke me down to the smallest fiber and told me I got to give it away. He said, you have to give away all this talent and gifts that I gave you before you can understand. And I remember that sermon I sent you about Creflo Dollar, the law of receiving, seed time, harvest. I had to literally start living that to realize how true it is and how that is the way to get what you really, really want. So it was easy for me. It's easy for me now to continue on that mindset, that journey, because I see how real it is. So I try to share it every chance I get.
That's really interesting that you say that, how you took a biblical principle and you now highlight that was one of your one of the things that made you elite was patience. And you talked about, again, seed, time, and harvest, and you're now kind of saying that is the vein, that is the principle that you're sticking to in every area of your life. So as we begin to transition, for those of you that are taking notes, you've got two major points of difference that Tony talked about that made him a master builder in regards to building his body. But now let's transition, and let's take the two that you talked about. The first one being able to visualize, being cerebral, using your mind to get your body to do what you wanted to do. The second one being patient. And let's talk about, now you transition into the space of network marketing. How long ago was it that you got started in the network marketing? How many years have you been in the game?
My first company was Equinox back in '96. Bill Gould. That was the first exposure to network marketing that I got.
But real experience, everybody.
Real experience.
Equinox. Yeah. How long have you really been at the?
Yeah, probably recently actually. How
many years?
Probably about 4 years. About 4 years ago.
All right. So
I got reintroduced to it on how to do it at a high level. I started watching people, and I was trying to figure out how do you, I was signing people up left and right, but it wasn't really sticking, because my mindset and my intent was to just sign people up and make money. So when I would sign them up and then next, sign them up, then next. And so when I adopted the whole, help other people get what they want and focus on giving, like I say, God broke me down, and He gave me the choice, and I chose happiness. So once I decided to do happy, I said I'm going to attract all those other things to myself. And lo and behold, being kind, giving away my talents, I was able to attract a few leaders, onto my team, and then they actually knew how to really duplicate. So I learned by watching them, and here I am today. It's just really amazing to me to, once I stopped trying to acquire and I won't say take, because I'm not a taker, but I was going after it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying don't go for it. I'm saying, what is your intent? And are you focused on the harvest, or are you focused on planting as many seeds as humanly possible? And once I tell people all the time, I get business offers almost every day. And I tell people I'm a seed. I got a seed mentality. So I'll plant seeds all over the world and circle back around 6 months later to see what's up. And it just works for me, and I think it'll work for everyone once you really understand the concept, because everything in our existence comes from seed. So it's really not that hard to grasp once you really understand
it. Tony, this is so absolutely amazing. I'd like to just kind of expand on this alone because, it rolls right off of your tongue, very easily said by you, but it's such a profound principle that if you don't mind, take a few minutes. What do you mean? You're talking about look, this is my first time jumping on this call. Look, I'm listening to you from Malaysia. I'm listening from Japan. I'm listening from Africa. What are you talking about? I want to be a master builder, Tony. I'm involved in this company. I'm involved in this thing, man. And I need to make some money, man. I really want to change my life. I want better health. I want the man of my dreams. I want the woman of my dreams. Come on, this call is about mastery. You're talking about patience. Okay. You're talking about seed time. What is this she's talking about here, man? Speak to those people.
Well, man, that's deep. Okay, in this game, in this network marketing game, right, all these companies, all the products, all the opportunities, they come with a compensation plan. They come with the ranks, and all that stuff is built in. So you as the individual, you shouldn't I mean, you should know what it is, but you don't have to focus on that. When you're talking to people, you don't have to focus on, closing the deal as much as sharing the experience. If these products are good, that's why you're promoting them. What's good about them? What have they done for you? Focus on those things. Show people that you really care and the fact that you're really trying to help them. I always, am amazed that it's easy to help someone. You see somebody on the side of the road, give them $5-10 or whatever. It's easy because you can tell that they need your help. But what about your coworker or your peer, someone standing right next to you who's having issues at home or who have, problems with self-confidence or whatever their problem is? If you can do something for that person who's not visually in need of your help, that's what I like to find, those opportunities where, someone who's well off, someone who's healthy, got a good family, but they're, whatever problem they might have, and I can hear that in that conversation because I'm engaging with them, and I can do something just because I, got some experience here or there, and I can help them out. So that's the type of stuff I look for. Those are the type of opportunities that you're going to be able to introduce somebody to your opportunity or your product without literally coming across as a salesperson. So that's my intent. That's my attitude. And it just so happens that keeping that intent, staying prepared, I'm always poised and prepared with my samples or whatever, but I'm just really more focused on, not what's in it for me, but how can I actually literally help someone without it being obvious. So.
That was really, really well broken down. I mean, very simple. 2-year-old can understand that. Basically, you're saying to become successful, take your intention off of how many billions of dollars, millions of dollars that you want. Yeah, that's a desire or a result, but really fall in love with the process of helping people. Make sure your intention is really all about you bettering someone else's lives with your product or your service. And in return, what will happen based upon the universal laws and universal principles, you'll end up blessing your own self at the same time. So as you put others first, what you make happen for others, the universe will make happen for you. So, no, that's a really profound, simple principle, but it's just really, really interesting to see that you take these simple little concepts, principles, and you're applying them. You apply them in your life to mastery with being a bodybuilder and also transferring over here into the network marketing direct sale profession. Talk a little bit about patience, because you said that was one of the things that made you an elite performer in the bodybuilding space. Has patience been, which is when you talk about the seed, planting a seed, you talk about time, in other words, waiting, and then you talk about harvesting. Talk to us about how has patience helped you over in network marketing, because you're right. Everybody wants the money now. I want to go help Betty now. I want to go help Bob now so I can get my reward. You're right. So how has patience? You've been at this thing, 4 years, and you're now making over 6 figures a month in income. I mean, wow, it doesn't seem like that took you too long. Help us understand that. And you had no sales experience.
I consider my scenario, man, I was at the top of the game in bodybuilding. And like I say, when I left the sport, I retired, I was injured. All my means of income went away almost like a domino. First I was injured, couldn't compete. Then I lost my endorsement deals because I couldn't compete. And then I couldn't guest pose, which was one of my biggest ways to make money, because I switched federations and then they blackballed me and I couldn't compete. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, I'm down to my last twig. What can I really do? And I was miserable, and I was mad. How you get mad at the world. They call it a dejection, basically, when it happens to athletes. But anyway, I chose to be happy. And I understood that my circumstances cannot control my happiness. It comes from the inside. And then once I decided, then I knew like the next day that I had to get up with a different attitude, and I had to, start building from scratch. Now, I didn't really have much patience at the time because I didn't really have any income. But what I did do was start paying attention, and I started listening more. So when the opportunities presented themselves, because my intent was in the right place, God was able to show me what he was trying to get me to see. Because now I wasn't looking.
Hey, can you say that again, man? That's profound. Say that again. That's profound. Say that again.
Well, like I said, I took the time to listen and see what God was trying to show me, because I wasn't focused on me. I wasn't focused on what was in it for me. I wasn't looking at the man in the mirror. You know, I realized.
So wait a minute. You're saying that you were hurting financially at that time. You needed the income, but somehow you mustered the strength to take the focus off of what you needed, and you needed it bad, is what you said. But you then put the focus on what other people needed, and you begin to listen. And as you listened, you said God did what?
He was already speaking to me, but he really started speaking to him almost audibly. Because you know how you always say, Lord, please help me do this, or Lord, please help me do that. And he sends you these things, but you're so focused on whatever it is that the problem is, that, you ever hear that joke about the person drowning and they send they threw out the raft in the Coast Guard and he went to heaven, and Lord, he was like, well, why did you save me? He said, I sent the Coast Guard, threw out the lifeguard. You know what I'm saying? We don't see what God or hear God talking to us because we're drowning in our misery and we're trying to do it ourselves, you know what I'm saying, with our self-power, and I gave it up to him. I gave it to him. I said, I'm going to take these talents, take this wisdom about the body and fitness, and I'm going to, because I was charging $250 a month for coaching. That was the only income that I had left, was online coaching. I was charging $250 a month, and I came up with this really cool little program that would help people lose 10 pounds in 7 days, and I was charging people for it. So I started giving it away. I gave it to this one lady. She lost 14 pounds in 7 days, and then she just, all her friends started doing it. And all of a sudden, I had all these people that I was helping coaching for free who just so happened to use my product, and then they would tell more people about it, and it just kind of snowballed from there. And as I saw it working, as I saw the changes in people's lives, I wanted to do it more. And I just continued on, and and like I say, long story short, I introduced this program to a few people. They loved it, and it was just like wildfire. It just took off. But I still believe that it was just my intent, because I had signed up hundreds and hundreds of people before. It just never stuck because I was really focused on what I was going to get out of it.
So you shifted your focus and your results quadrupled.
Yeah. Definitely 10x.
10x.
100%.
So a mastery nugget tip for those people that are listening is your focus does equal your reality.
Yeah. I started helping hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that I never knew or never met, never saw. You know, I would limit myself to the amount of people that I can help by charging them that $250. I literally still to this day do the same thing. I still get people from all over the world that I just give it away to, still to this day.
And so that premise now has allowed you over the last 4 years, and again, it's a very simple concept. I really hope most of you that are listening will go back. See, sometimes you're looking for something super complicated, and the answer to your problem is very simple. And we're talking about mastery. And he's talking about a biblical principle, but he's explaining it in a very simple manner, which everybody can understand, talking about the power of intention. But see, it's really difficult when you are going through a difficult time in your life. It's difficult for you not to focus on what it is you need. And see, that if you want to click into the gear of mastery, you've got to get the focus off of you. You see, the universe, God knows you need money. He knows what you need. But when you take the focus off of you and you say, well, wait a minute, how can I really help somebody else? But notice what Tony's saying, you have to be intentional. It can't be accidental. It's got to be, this is my new life. I really want to help Paul, Sally, Becky. You know, I want to help others for real. I don't just want to say I really want to do it. And as I'm trying to go help them, the laws of the universe the way it works is now all of a sudden your needs will become more than met. And can you say, Tony, now that, is it safe to say that you make more money now than you ever did in 20, 30 years of bodybuilding? You make more money now on a monthly basis.
I've made more money in the last 3 years than I made in the whole 30 years I did bodybuilding, for sure.
Wow.
100%.
Wow.
And something that you just said, about putting the focus on others. It is really hard to do that when you're broke or when you don't have any money or whatever. But it's something about getting to the bottom of the barrel. There's something about the struggle, that just makes us better. And I think that, like now when people get a fever, they go try to break the fever, not realizing that, the fever is a gift. That fever is what burns that virus or bacteria or keeps it from really making you sick. So anytime I get a fever, I go bundle up and sweat it out. So I kind of just, have that mentality now because, that's reality. We always focus on the pleasure part of stuff, the good part of stuff, the bad, all that, the rain, the bad, the woe is me, all that stuff is to make you better. And it's also to make you wake up and see God. There's so many things in this world, in this existence, that are, they're either hiding God, distorting it, switching it up, giving us 55 different religions to choose from when there's only one Most High. You know what I'm saying? So we got to really get away from, I love nice stuff too, so I'm not saying get away from the material things, but I'm saying the reasons why we do things, your intent basically controls the outcome. So whatever you're looking for, if you really have that true intent of helping others, planting as many seeds as possible, helping as many people as possible, for real, you'll get your blessing. It's going to multiply.
And Tony, with that said, share with us some of the harvest that you've been able to. Right now, what size is your organization? This is a guy 4 years ago, no experience network marketing, not a sales guy. This is not what Tony was. So tell us, what size is your organization today?
I got to give all the credit to my team, but I know we have probably over 80,000. It's probably more than that, and the number goes up. We had some migration in our company and coming and going, like all companies. About last time I checked, about 80,000.
Nice.
Which is crazy to me. Which is crazy to me because, again, I got a lot of bodybuilding fans and whatnot. People say, "Oh, you got a huge following." That's what they used to tell me all the time. "Oh, you grow a huge organization because of my celebrity." And like I say, when I took the meat suit off, took the muscle suit off, took the light off, got out of the spotlight, and started focusing on others for real. And for myself, me. So I'm not just saying it. I try to get, because I know it sounds cliche. People always say, I want to help people. But I'm an empath. If you know anything about empaths, we feel other people's energy. So when I help someone, I genuinely love it. I genuinely, you know what I'm saying? So it's a kind of different. It's different for me. I actually find pleasure in helping people figure out their problems, especially with fitness, because fitness is like breathing to me. Somebody say, well, I want to lose weight or I want to put on muscle or whatever. My ears perk up and my spidey senses go to tingling because I know what to do. You know what I'm saying? So, but I kind of just parlayed that into this network thing, met some cool people, and some of the soldiers that I got, in our quiet time, in our private time, they told me why they chose working with me. It was because of my heart. It was because of my kindness. It wasn't because I had a big, nice car or knew how to close and all that type of stuff. Nothing wrong with that. That's just not my skill set. That's why I find people like you who know how to do all that stuff and kind of collaborate, and then I can have the best of both worlds. So I'm basically in all kinds of industries now because people just kind of respect kind of what I've been through and kind of how I was able to do well there, and I'm doing well here. So, but it truly is because what's on the inside. I really struggled when I was huge with people, looking me in the eye and talking to the man on the inside. So I'm extremely happy to just be amongst real people. Both my organization is moms, single moms, and it's weird because that's my audience now. I actually try to help them with all their little fitness problems, and it's just a really cool experience. And like I said, we have some huge leaders in my organization, and we did it. Still doing it.
That's it. That's absolutely right, man. You are doing it. What an inspiration. What an amazing story. And most importantly, some awesome, awesome tips for all of you that are listening live and those of you that will listen to the replay. Tony, is there any other couple of points of mastery that come to mind that you want to leave all these folks with before we get out of here?
Man, I think we covered them all. Like I say, just work on your intent. I tell my sons, I tell everybody I know, your intent is going to control the outcome. You know what I'm saying? Like what's in your heart, what you truly desire in your heart is what's going to come out. Now, a lot of people make a lot of money, but they don't sleep at night. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, how do you get there? How do you arrive? And what is real success? Because success, I think, is, doing what you love. You're happy in your skin, and you're not hurting anyone or taking from anyone. And your intent is to leave the world a better place than when you got here. So that's it.
Well, man, I agree with every single word you said, man. I could not agree with you more. Thank you for coming on, man, and actually sharing these mastery nuggets with all of our listeners. And may God continue to richly bless you in all that you do, man. What an amazing story. Really simple and profound how, once again, success can come from anywhere. So, man, we appreciate you, Tony. We love you, man, and may God bless you.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on, bro.
Absolutely. And to all of you that are listening, boom, we did it again, guys. This concludes part 3 of a series entitled I Am a Master Builder. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you guys. Always remember, in all that you do, there is nobody any more important than you. Listen, guys, I'll see you guys next Sunday. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks again, Tony.
Thanks, bro.